The thing that most women over 40 rely on to get in shape is usually the one thing that ends up keeping you exactly where you are, slowly gaining belly fat, feeling tired all the time, feeling frustrated that your body does not reflect your efforts, and feeling anxious about your future health. I'm Dr. Rachel Felber. I am an ER doctor, a women's health and strength coach, and a women's metabolic health expert. In this video, I'm going to explain why that's happening, what has changed in your body, and what actually works if your goal is to look, feel, and function at your best. So this is actually a very common pattern that I see all the time. Women are investing lots of time and energy in walking, doing Peloton, doing gym classes. Where I live, people love pickleball. So lots of these kinds of activities, putting in the effort, trying to eat healthy, and that means something different to everybody, but making an effort, and yet their body composition is staying exactly the same or even going in the wrong direction, putting more fat around the midsection, low muscle tone, crappy energy. And it's frustrating and it's confusing because these things used to work so well. You're doing the same things you've always done, and your body's been one way. And now it feels like your body is not responding or like your body's working against you. This is super common and it sucks. So, yes, what used to work in your 20s and even in your 30s does not work anymore and will not work again. Back in your previous life, doing cardio or sporadic gym classes was probably enough because your physiology was completely different. You had more baseline muscle mass because it drops off as we age if you're not doing something active and intentional to maintain it. You had better insulin sensitivity, and insulin resistance worsens as we age. And especially after menopause, as estrogen drops, insulin resistance tends to get worse. And you had a hormone profile that was one of a younger person, which makes keeping fat off and maintaining muscle a lot easier. Also, recovery is easier when we're younger. So, for all of these reasons together, uh, a younger body just works differently than a body over 40. But now that you could say the environment is a little bit less favorable, you need an approach that's very specific and efficient to get the same job done. So we see the beginnings of this in perimenopause, and then it really accelerates after menopause. But muscle mass drops off, fat loss becomes harder, recovery takes longer, and we really need to make an effort to give our bodies the time and rest that's required for the recovery processes. Our bodies become less efficient at handling glucose, and extra glucose is more likely to go into fat stores, and our bodies are just less adept at handling stress overall. So this is where continuing to rely on cardio as your main form of exercise or keeping yourself fit can lead to problems. Cardio does very little to help you maintain or build muscle. And in fact, in many cases, you can lose muscle as a result of doing too much cardio. And for everyone, especially women over 40, muscle really should be your main focus because it is the driver for health. It is the driver for your metabolic health. Muscle plays a major role in how your body handles glucose and how insulin sensitive you are, as well as your energy, mood, sleep, and of course your body composition. So, your ratio of fat to muscle. Now, there's also the issue of stress. So when cardio is done frequently or for a long duration, it increases your physiological stress, which is not a bad thing in and of itself, but it does need to be taken into context. So many, maybe could say most women over 40 are dealing with some stressors in their life. There's usually disrupted sleep, other effects of the hormone changes, and then obviously whatever family or work or other life stresses that are normal. But there's some baseline stress. And if you're adding more stress to that, more physiological stress to that on a regular basis from lots of cardio, then that can lead to increased baseline cortisol levels. And that directly and indirectly leads to more difficult fat loss and worse insulin resistance. And little results showing for the effort that you put in. And that can also contribute to why more effort, more cardio, more time doing cardio can work against you and can make you feel like you are not getting the results that you expect for all of the time and energy and effort you put in. And actually, that's another important part because women often think, well, this isn't working. I need to just do more of it. And in fact, doing more of it might be making things even worse. So it's not like you can scale up with it and improve your body composition and health with more of it, like many women think they can do. Now, I don't want to sound like I'm hating on cardio because cardio is very important for certain things, obviously, cardiovascular health and endurance and increasing overall physical activity. And some people just love it. So it's certainly not a bad thing. It just can't be your main strategy for getting fit, getting healthy, improving your body composition, and improving your metabolic health, especially after 40. Now, building muscle is the hero of this story because having more muscle on your body does all of the things that you are looking for. You're looking to lose fat, to have a nice shape and tone, improve your metabolic health, improve the way that your body manages glucose. It gives you stronger bones, better core strength, balance, coordination. It makes you strong and feel energetic and feel good and look good. So that's what most women want. And you're not going to get that with cardio. You're going to get that with strength training. Over the years, especially in recent years, there have been lots of studies that compare strength training to cardio. And strength training regularly comes out on top in terms of improving markers of insulin resistance and inflammation. Now, this is probably a topic that you've come across in media and social media because there has been more recognition lately about how strength training and building strength and building muscle is essential for your metabolic health and your overall health, especially for women and especially for women over 40. But it's still something that a lot of women are hesitant to accept or to start doing on their own. Now, this makes a lot of sense because cardio is familiar, it is accessible, it doesn't take a lot of learning, and you certainly feel like you're doing something, right? You go to the gym and you hop on the treadmill for an hour or the Stairmaster for 30 minutes and you're sweating and you're panting, you're going to feel like you got a good workout. So, I mean, that's worth something, right? So that's something that a lot of women gravitate to. It's familiar, it's safe, it's worked before. I'm just going to keep doing it. Now, on the other hand, strength training can feel really intimidating. It's something that's new and unfamiliar. It takes some learning. It takes, removing your ego and being willing to um, be a beginner at something. And for lots of women, getting over that hump feels too great. It's easier and more comfortable to stick to what you already know, which is cardio, even though you recognize that it's not really getting the job done anymore. But here's the thing. If your goal really is to get fit, get more healthy, maintain your fitness as you age, have a healthy, efficient metabolism, feel strong and capable and be able to go into your later years confident that your body can sustain you, that your body can be there for you, and that you'll be able to continue doing all of the things that you've always loved to do. Like you don't want to have to give up skiing or paddleboarding or, tennis because you are getting old and unfit. That does not have to be your future. So if that's what you want, you have to put aside what's comfortable and familiar and be willing to go and do something new and different because all of the evidence, the studies, all of the data is saying that strength training, building strength, building muscle is the way to have that future that you want. Cardio has its place. If you love it, do it once in a while, but that cannot be number one. Strength training has to be number one if that's the future that you envision for yourself and you want for yourself. Now, what's really nice is that even though strength training seems overwhelming to a lot of women, like so many other things, once you get started, you find that it is not this big, hairy monster that you have always made it out to be. There have been plenty of studies that show that women in their 60s, 70s, even up to 90s can put on muscle as easily as younger women. Now, one of the early steps in this that not enough people talk about is that you might have to change your identity from someone who hates strength training or doesn't know anything about it or is scared to get bulky or someone who is not comfortable and confident in the gym and make that identity shift to somebody who deserves to be strong, is ready to put in the work and the effort to learn how to do that, someone who follows the research and is intelligent enough to know that if this has been proven to be the way to get what I want, this is what I'm going to do, even though it's out of my comfort zone, even though it's going to be hard, even though maybe you don't have any friends who do it. But a nice plus is that once you start, it really doesn't take that long to start seeing and feeling the effects. So once you're just even a few weeks into a good solid plan that makes sense for you, and especially if you are eating in a way that supports your efforts in the gym, you're going to start noticing changes within a few weeks, certainly a month or so. Your clothes are going to be fitting differently, your mood, your energy is going to be better. And what I think is the coolest part is most women confidence increases dramatically within just a few months because you're taking something that you used to put on a pedestal as something not accessible to you and you're doing it. You are doing a new thing that is making you feel good physically. You know that it's improving your health. You know that you're doing something very positive for your body and for your future. And you can feel yourself getting stronger on a regular basis. And if you're keeping track of your workout data, which you should be, you will see objective evidence that you're getting stronger week to week and you'll be able to do things that you haven't been able to do before. And people are going to notice, and that always feels good. So that's nice because if you could stick with it for a few weeks and you're getting this really great feedback, it makes it easier to keep going. So, again, I'm Dr. Rachel Felber. And for more content on women's health and strength, hit subscribe.